28. Turn that man loose.
The Patriots Postgame Show, presented by Cybereason, with Christian Arcand, Mike Dussault, and Paul Perillo, is your source for all the news and information following every Patriots game.
Shotgun snap to Mac Jones. Fires to the end zone. Caught at the goal line. It's a touchdown for Hunter Henry as the Patriots add to their lead.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
I hope y'all keep that same energy for tonight, baby. Can't wait.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Christian Arcand.
Slipping and sliding, he was like a cat. Pop, pop, bang.
Okay, welcome in. This is Patriots Postgame, presented by Cybereason. I'm Christian Arcand alongside Mike Dussault and Paul Perillo. The Patriots come away with a convincing 26-3 win over a hapless Indianapolis Colts team that offensively could not get out of their own way. It seemed like it wasn't crazy way to describe the Patriots, certainly in the first quarter, but from the second quarter on, the offense started clicking, the defense creating opportunities, special teams as well, and the Patriots capitalizing on most of those opportunities, certainly enough to beat that 3 points that the Colts were able to put up there. I'd say this is another sort of typical Patriots win this season. A lot of the wins have looked like this. Defense and special teams really carrying the day. Nick Folk with another game where he's very accurate, kicking his field goals, and another game where we sort of look at Mac Jones and think, well, he was good enough to win, right? I mean, that's basically it, right?
Yeah, didn't make the mistakes today.
Yeah.
I think you laid it out. I mean, this is it. This is what I kind of was thinking it might go. Great performance by Nick Folk. Great performance by the defense. I mean, I think their ability to get off the field on third down, I mean, it's just ridiculous. 0 for 14. That they were the difference. I thought the offense continues to be what the offense is. They get a couple plays here and there, usually from Ramondre Stevenson or Jacoby Myers, and otherwise it's just a real grind to try to get consistent yards. I mean, they had just over 200 yards of offense total. Colts had 121. So I mean, just a total rock fight. Special teams, defense were the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be able to sit here and tell you they got contributions from all three phases, but they didn't. They got contributions from defense, and they got contributions from special teams, but they didn't get any help from the offense today. They were awful. The offensive line for the second week in a row had no answers. The running game is completely disappeared. The only time they run the ball with any degree of success is on second and long when the other team's not playing run. But defensively, like Mike said, you hit a lot of the highlights. 9 sacks, ties a franchise record, and 0 for 14 on third down. I don't care who you're playing. They dominated. You're supposed to dominate over overmatched offenses. They did that today in spades. So sometimes you got to let one side or the other carry the load. Today the defense carried the load. Special teams chipped in with a block punt for a touchdown. Set up a touchdown. They took over on the 3-yard line, whatever it was. But, they still have a lot of work to do offensively.
I mean, I think you laid it all out. I guess it was just disappointing to get this off my chest. It was just, the continued lack of development and, the struggles in the red zone, the number of times they were stopped today, inside the red zone, inside the 5-yard line. Those things are just huge problems. And, against teams like the Colts, it works out okay because you have another offense that doesn't really have any ability to counterpunch or to put the pressure on you. The game was kind of close for a while, but like you said,
it was close into the fourth quarter. I mean, the game was over.
Yeah,
the game was over for all practicality, but it's a 2-score game going into the fourth quarter, and the pick six puts it away. But
I mean, other than
just terrible.
The Jonnu Smith, I think it was 23-yard screen pass, and then the Ramondre Stevenson 11-yard carry that came right on the tail of that one.
And a nice seam route to Hunter Henry.
That's it. That's kind of those are the 3 plays.
The crux of the offense.
That's the 3 plays. The rest of it was just a grind. I mean, numerous third downs that they got to, third and longs. Just not a lot of success on first and second down. It was a slog again, which we're kind of getting used to here.
I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I want you to be honest, okay? I know you generally aren't, so I want you to be honest this time. When they blocked that punt and Mac took over first and goal on the 3, how confident were you that was going in the end zone? Honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident were you?
I mean, I was
at like a 5.5.
I was reasonably. Yeah. I won't say I was all in. I won't say I was all in. I know what your point is.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought they would score, but I wasn't all in. So I think that kind of speaks volumes.
Wasn't a great pass either. Stevenson had to reach out and catch it with one hand.
It was a quick little pass to the flat. I mean, that's a pretty easy, pitch and catch. I know it's a one-handed catch, but that's an easy.
But, I mean,
It's an
again,
easy
to the
play.
point, every yard as you get closer to the end zone is
True.
harder and harder and harder. So I get your point. I was just thinking, hey, this is how it's supposed to go. They get set up on the 3. This is when they're supposed to score. So, yeah, they did enough today. But, yeah, I don't think anybody is saying bring on the Bills and the Chiefs right now after that one.
Not quite, and we kid because we love, obviously. And you look at the score and you think, wow, the team. If you didn't watch the game, you would think, man, what a dominating performance in all 3 phases, like you said,
Right.
Paul. But it's just the defense and the special teams against that Colts offense, which you think the Patriots offense had issues. My God. Watching the Colts try and run a play, it was like Pop Warner.
But
like
this
if they
this is my
completed anything,
point.
you're like, wow, first down,
Through
good for them.
the vast balance of the game, the offenses were identical.
Yeah.
Statistically. Like, that's
I mean, you take out those 3 plays and
but leave
the
them in.
Patriots.
Leave them in. They had 200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't even have 100 more yards than the Colts did in this game. And the Colts, like Christian just said, couldn't even run a play. And think about all of the yards, like 9 sacks. That's minus yards, like minus all those yards up. Like, this game offensively was just bad for both teams. It was worse for the Colts, but it was bad.
And the Colts, by the way, as we mentioned in the pregame, are a team that's in a state of upheaval right now. They don't have their quarterback. They just fired their offensive coordinator. There's reason to believe that a team like that is going to have trouble running their offense. Their star running back couldn't play today. Like they were really – this was a tough setting for them. The Patriots – I mean, yeah, they had a couple of guys injured, but for the most part, they had all their, they had most of their people. They had most people that contribute on this offense playing today. And listen, the Colts defense is very good. I think that's a strong unit, and I think they did a good job today. Certainly did a good job of sort of plugging up the front, and I think that their secondary did a nice job too. There was that one nice throw by Mack where Myers sort of had that twisting catch there.
Wasn't sure if he caught it.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I still, even after the replay, wasn't sure if he caught it or not, but he did. And
I don't think he did. I think that was one of those that the Patriots did a good job of getting to the line.
Right, yeah, snapping it quickly before you could challenge. But either way, aside from that, there weren't a lot of big chunk plays like that. It didn't seem like they were able to really run out the clock or do the other things that they wanted to do with the ball. That being said, when your defense is just that overwhelming to a Sam Ehlinger led offense, there's just you really have to screw it up to lose a game like this.
Yeah, and they eventually did. I mean that Jonathan Jones pick 6 in the end was kind of the cap of it all. But yeah, I mean credit to the defense. It's just I've seen plenty of this against overmatched opponents going back to like Jacksonville last year. Teams that just have no chance against the Patriots defense. They need to play this way against the good offenses that they have. Coming up, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the Jets game. Are they about to? Did they pull off the upset?
Jets won.
So the Jets. So it's
my picks are a dumpster fire today.
Who knows what's going on? But I think you get to this point, you got to regroup and try to refocus offensively and to try to stack some kind of success or be able to find some kind of consistency or ability to finish in the red zone, because until they figure those things out, as well as the defense played, it's not going to be enough against the best teams. They need all 3 phases to play well, and we're still waiting for the offense.
And we talked about it before the game in terms of the AFC East, and you have a chance to win and tighten things up, and unfortunately they didn't get any help. The teams that they're trying to get tightened up against both won. Miami 35-32 winners in Chicago, and the Jets pull off the stunner at the Meadowlands 20-17. Josh Allen, by the way, in that game looked like I didn't get to see much on red zone when we came down. It looked like he was dealing with some discomfort in his elbow maybe. It looked like he was holding his arm. But, the Jets defense, we saw that last week. The Jets defense can cause some problems. And I think that started for Buffalo the previous week. I told you, Mike, on that Green Bay game, it looked like they were completely disinterested in the second half of that game and kind of went through the motions. And they're going to need to get some players back, Buffalo. I still think they're far and away the best team in the AFC, but they're going to need to get some personnel back and get back at it because they didn't look good. I didn't think the second half of last week, and certainly to lose 20-17 to the Jets, they could not have played very well today.
Yeah, the Dolphins also, as you mentioned, came away with a win over the Bears.
Another huge game for Tua,
by the skin of their teeth, too, as Justin Fields had a really, really nice game. I don't know if you saw some of those highlights, but he had a great touchdown run. He was making throws all over the field. And, we talk about these second-year quarterbacks. Wilson in the Jets game didn't really do much, but Fields, he's been coming on lately. You know?
You're welcome. You're welcome, Chicago. I guess he figured it all out against the Patriots. So now you finally found your quarterback thanks to the Patriots' inability to stop him running. So there you go.
Yeah, sure. All right, the phone number is 855-PATS-500. You can email us at webradio@patriots.com. The Patriots top the Colts in dominating fashion, 26-3, despite another kind of off day from the offense. Mac Jones not cracking 150 yards. He was 20 of 30, 147 yards with a touchdown. No interceptions, though.
There you go.
He tried.
Throw a pick. He tried his damnedest, but they were unable to capitalize. And for the first time in a while, you have a Mac Jones turnover-free game.
That breaks his streak. I think it was like 7 in a row. Well, might have been 6 in a row in the regular season. But should we jump into the good, the bad, and the injured?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Now it's time for the good.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
The bad.
Hey, what happened?
And the injured.
You all right, guy?
All right, you want me to start?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll go ahead with
Take
the Patriots pass rush. What can you say? That Colts offensive line, I read, is the most expensive and also the worst offensive line in football.
Yeah, they've played terribly.
They really have been bad, and there's a lot of money on that line, and the Patriots made them look ridiculous, I thought, in this game. And there's some names on that line. It's not like it's all a bunch of Jermaine Illuminors, not to pick on him some more, but like, Marshall Newhouse and those guys. They got some names there. Josh Uche coming off the edge. There was one play where he was just completely untouched coming in for the sack. Judon, 3 sacks of his own. Dietrich Wise, who continues to play well, had, I think, a half a sack with Tavai. Jawan Bentley got in there. Raekwon McMillan had one. Just a master class, I thought, in disrupting what that offensive line was trying to do with their zone blocking and getting to Ellinger. He was never comfortable in the whole game. 9 sacks. What can you say?
Yeah, that's what you can say. 9 sacks. That's about says it all.
That's a lot.
Judon just all over the place. Where would they be without him? Similar start last year. He's even, a hotter start this year. Got to keep it going into the second half. If he goes quiet again this year, they're dead meat. But I think just the play of Wise, Uche coming on, and just that complimentary finisher kind of a role. The Colts didn't have a lot, and they weren't really able to run the ball. They were in a lot of 3rd and longs. I thought the Patriots made them play. They were great on 3rd down, as evidenced by all the sacks, no conversions. That was I think really where the game was kind of decided.
Yeah, and I'll go at the front end too, and just talk about you guys touched on the pass rush. That was the key factor, obviously. But you knew the only way that the Colts could stay competitive is if they ran the ball all day, and the Patriots didn't let them. So those guys up front were stout. I thought Tavai was really active in this game. I don't know, statistically, if he had a huge impact, but I thought Adrian Phillips had a couple of really nice run stuffs, 2-yard gains, filling the hole. They never allowed Indianapolis to get anything going on the ground. You look, it's 11 carries for 23 yards for Deion Jackson, 3 carries for 13 yards for Wilkins, 1 for 2 for Lindsey. So a couple of short yardage situations completely stuffed. I thought the run defense was the way we had seen it in its better moments today. And that's a good sign because these teams that want to come in and run the ball, once they get one-dimensional and then have an inexperienced quarterback like Ellinger, you know what happens.
All right, we were just talking about the pass rush and how good it was. That was due in large part to this man who we welcome into the program right now, number 55 in your programs, 3 sacks in the books today. Josh Uche. Josh, thanks for the time. How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Hey, Josh, good. 9 sacks for you guys today as a team. I mean, just what's the mood like there for the defense? Such a dominating day.
I mean, it's good. We all know what we're capable of, and, each guy went out there and executed. And, at the end of the day, the team effort, the guys that are rushing, everyone's just talented. So everyone just did their thing, and, the end result was the end result, So.
Josh, we've seen offenses sort of get in a rhythm and, start throwing the ball around and getting hot. Can a pass rush get in one of those kind of grooves where – you see Judon, get off to a quick start early, then you get out there and you're racing around the end a couple of times. Can a pass rush sort of find a groove and just get in the zone the way you guys did today, or is that just kind of an anomaly?
I mean, no. I mean, it's what you saw is what you saw. We all just gel very well together. We're in here each and every day working hard, grinding, and we go out there and execute and have fun. We have faith in each other, so we just go out there and we're having fun. Because we know the guy next to us play and do his job, and they got our backs, and we got each other's backs. So that's what it comes down to.
Josh, you've been getting close, in a lot of those games early on in the season. You got your first sack against the Jets, now 3 today. You got to be feeling confident going into this bye week. How's the general mood, I guess, with you and the rest of the guys?
Mood is good. Confidence has always been there. Outside noise is kind of the outside noise. We know what we have in this locker room, and, we just keep grinding each and every day, and, just one play at a time, one day at a time.
Josh, just feel like a bit of a relief here to get to the bye, maybe get a little break, and then refocus on those last 8 games of the season?
We're trying to play ball, and we're trying to, dominate. So whatever we got to do, it don't matter. Luckily, the bye is next week, so we're just going to, take it one step at a time. So get ready for the next game.
What was the message from the coaches as you wrap this one up and you head into the bye? What was the message that you guys had to take with you?
Just keep working, keep grinding, and push through the struggle. Pressure creates diamonds, so, we got to get through that pressure if we want to shine.
All right, Josh Uche, 3 sacks today, part of a 9-sack day for that defense. Enjoy it. Enjoy the bye week, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right.
Congrats, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Congrats. Great game. Josh Uche, number 55.
He was
really
coming off the edge today. I think that was his best game as a Patriot.
Yeah.
I thought he was a factor from the moment he stepped on the field today. And I don't know what the thing is with the Colts offensive line. This is, just in doing the prep work for them last week, this is what I've been reading, is their offensive line has been leaking like a sieve all year, and we saw it today. It was nothing really. There was a couple of plays I saw, like Judon on one of his early sacks came looping around and came up the inside, and one of the guards, I forget which guard it was, just didn't hit anybody. They confused him. But I don't think there was a lot. I just think it was guys winning.
Yeah.
Uche just winning outside, just getting off the edge and coming around untouched.
That was what I was just going to say. It was just, you can see certain games like that where it just looks like one team is winning the line of scrimmage, and that was it. And to go back to your point, Paul, when you were talking earlier about just the general play of the front, the 3rd and 1 stop with the 4th and 1 stop there. The game was still, a little bit in question. They're winning the line, they're playing in the backfield, and if they continue to do that, they're going to be, one of the best defenses. But I still think they've just kind of set the stage now for what they really have to do here in the final 8 games.
Uche only had 3 sacks total last year.
Yeah.
So he matched that in one game this season, and has now 4 on the year. He had his first.
This is one of those games you wanted to get off the disabled list if you happen to be out. This was one you got to take advantage of.
Yeah, no question about it.
Can I throw Jay Jones on there? Big pump block and then a big 6.
Absolutely.
He was a
we
game
throw
changer.
DeAndre Hopkins on there for a nice fantasy touchdown for me. Thank you.
That's
okay.
fantasy Paul weighing in, not red zone Paul. But I thought Jay Jones too key. The second one, it is what it is at the end of the game. It was kind of the icing on top, but I think that pump block was huge. That pump block and then to get the touchdown.
The pump block ended the game, and
I'm
not exaggerating. And what I really liked here, and I knew you and I kind of talked about it pregame. We kind of anticipated a strong special teams day,
and they went for
because
it,
of the amount of time they spent talking about how badly they were outplayed on special teams last year, and they were embarrassed by it. So this is something dialed up. Jonathan Jones is on the outside as the vice guy. He comes all of a sudden charging in from the outside, times the snap perfectly, and he comes in untouched and blocks the punt. Great angle. No way they're going to get in any kind of trouble there if he doesn't get there in time. He's not any risk of running into the punter. You see the angle he takes. Perfect. He goes right by without even touching the leg. So give Cam Acord and the coaching staff some credit. Give Jonathan Jones all the credit for executing exactly the way he should. Huge play in the game. It's 6-0. That game, I'm just going to tell you, sometimes you know these kinds of plays happen early in games. You're like, oh, it didn't really matter. That was going to happen anyway. This game was going to be nothing but field goals. The 2 touchdowns they scored were given to them by the other team. They weren't scoring touchdowns today. The Patriots offense wasn't getting in the end zone without help. And this play ended the game. It made it a 2-score game over.
Okay, let's
Huge,
move on
Jonathan
to
Jones.
another good. The good that I have here is Marcus Jones, who I thought did a nice job in the return game, had a nice long punt return, and also a good kick return. They didn't kick off to him very much, but I thought that he looked good there, and was just someone who I haven't noticed much this year. I thought he looked explosive today.
Yeah, I thought his 23-yard punt return was another, one of the catalyst plays. There were maybe 4 or 5 of them. We named 3 offensive. Between the punt block and then Marcus Jones's punt return early on,
out to
getting
the Colts,
points.
back to the Colts 43, sets up a field goal on a 19-yard drive.
Yeah, and it's 6-0.
Again, And then the other one is he gets out to the 33 on a kick. So yeah, I think Marcus Jones deserves a spot on the good list today. Absolutely.
Yeah, especially when it's like, I mean, you're seeing that first one we just saw it, but it's like, the offense needs those plays, and when you get them, it's like that field position was huge, and then it's 6-0, and all right, we're starting to roll a little bit.
Yeah, and I had mentioned when we were talking about the run defense, Adrian Phillips I thought was really active today, and Tavai, Jelani Tavai I thought was physical. And around the line. And the one other guy, and Evan mentioned him a couple of times when we were watching the game, was Juwan Bentley.
Yep.
I thought had a couple of plays where he was right where he was supposed to be, turning plays back inside where his help was. And, so I just thought defensively you'd be hard-pressed to find a guy that didn't play well today. I thought everybody, not to sound like Bill, I thought all the defensive guys really did their job, and it was working in concert. The pass rush, the coverage was good enough that he couldn't get the ball out as quickly as probably he wanted to. And the run defense was outstanding.
Yeah, it all just fit together today. It was, I think you go right down the line, Mac Wilson. I mean, guys that at least made one play or, showed up with a big tackle. So, yeah, defense, nice work.
I got nothing for you.
I got nothing offensively.
I was also going to say Nick Folk.
Yeah, all right.
Nick Folk was
another day, another.
Nick Folk was his regular self. I mean, 49 and 43 yards, not chip shots, and he made them.
Yep, just kept going. 4 more.
Yeah, he deserves a spot. Good job, Christian.
All right, and that's it. That's it for me on the goods. I think that's it for all of us.
That's
all right,
it for me.
Let's go to the bads.
Ooh, where do you want to start? How general should we go?
I just think you're getting into offensive ruts right out of the gate. 2 3-and-outs, and then a first down. The third possession, a first down, and then a punt. So in essence, you had like 3 3-and-outs to start the game. I don't know if it's play design, because I've been really complimentary of the plan of attack going into some of these games. The script going into these games has been successful in a lot of the games, where some of the best drives they have are right out of the locker room. That wasn't the case today. It wasn't the case last week. So they struggled a little bit at the start. The offensive line, I know you're dealing with some backups. It's not working. The offensive line is not playing very well. They need David Andrews back in the worst way, and they need to figure out what they want to do at tackle, because either you stick with Kajust and just go full-time with Wynn at left guard, but these early struggles for Strange are not by accident. Yeah. They have to figure something out. I
thought Kajust had a really bad game.
Yeah, I think Strange, was out of the game early again. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised to see Wynn start at left guard next week. Just flat out take that job.
Hands to the face penalty, and then that was kind of it, right? Like was that the last point we saw Cole Strange? That was the last time I remember seeing
he had a hands to the face penalty.
Yeah, it was declined. It was declined.
Yeah, okay, right, yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, I know like Trent Brown had a holding. The offensive line didn't play well again. Yeah. I thought that Mac was dealing with a fair amount of pressure again from the outset, and it really never subsided.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm with you, Paul. I just don't know how to divvy it up, and I just put overall just the offense, because
look at these negative plays too. There's a good clip that the guys are showing here. Like
he's got a second there.
Last week they had something like 14 negative plays in the game. They had to approach that again today.
I'm sure, and especially right out of the gate, where both teams are like combined for like minus 7 yards out of the. It's just overall. What's distressing for me is just that this is the same kind of clunkiness that we've been seeing all year, and there just hasn't been any sign of starting to find anything really. It's either Stevenson makes something out of nothing, or otherwise you're just kind of tooth and nail, 1 or 2 plays per drive maybe that can be big enough to maybe put you into scoring position. But if you don't get those plays, then you're probably punting. So just not a lot to like. I mean, I thought Hunter Henry was okay, showed up in a couple spots.
4 catches, 50 yards, I'll take it.
For how quiet he's been, he did show up a little bit. I didn't put him on the good list, but otherwise the production, I mean, the fumbles out of Myers and Bourne too were, just for an offense struggling to find its way, struggling to find trust. You've got guys. I mean, Jacoby's got a little bit of a leash to work with, given his performance and how consistent he's been overall. But I mean, for a guy like Bourne, who's trying desperately to integrate himself into being a piece of this offense, to continue put the ball on the ground, it's just not good.
Yeah, I had him as one of my bads for that fumble. Taylor came and recovered it, but I mean that was an ugly fumble.
The Bourne fumble was bad because he was very loose with the ball. And I'm not trying to
break a tackle.
I'm not trying to like give Myers the benefit of the doubt, but at least he got popped.
Yeah.
Look at J.J. Taylor come flying in, too. I mean,
That
he
was,
just as
that was a great play. He
missile.
jumps over a guy
he
right
just-
here. He goes over the pile, and he kind of recovers it all in one motion.
That's a great play.
And I
by
give
him.
the Colts a lot of credit here. Right, because the Colts aren't trying to recover this. They're trying to pick it up and run it back because they knew that's the only chance they had to win the game was to scoop and score in that kind of a spot. So, yeah, I mean, a little sloppy with the ball again. I thought Mac threw a couple balls in harm's way, too, today. He got away with them. One in particular, the one that was ruled incomplete on the sideline on the bobble that Myers caught, and he was out of bounds. That pass should have been picked. So, yeah, just another day where I don't think the ball security was great.
Yeah.
All right, ball security. I'll add that as well.
Sorry, I did like a free form of.
Yeah, I did. I
offensive
just
bats.
did like the just the offensive structure at the start of games. Just this is 2 weeks in a row. I mean, you could probably do everything here. I don't know.
I had Mac as bad. I mean, I didn't think that he was particularly strong in his reads. I didn't think he was processing all that well. I know that a lot of not a lot of people, but some people, some other people were saying that his processing was actually good in that Jets game last week, which I tend to disagree with. I wasn't impressed by it, but I definitely wasn't today. And I think that he didn't have a lot of help. We were just talking about the plays that he did make. I think the best play of the day was that Jonnu Smith play. The reason why that happened, I thought, is because Kajust's guy just burned him so badly and was already around the corner that by the time he got the ball out, that whole side of the field had basically collapsed. So that's why Smith got so many yards.
I need to look at it. I don't know where that fell in the screen category of design of letting that guy come in. I'm not sure exactly. I didn't get quite.
Yeah, I think it was a screen, so I think there is an element of that where it's kind of intentional. You see, like he passes off Kwity Paye right there. That's a good job by the guys in the truck again, getting plays exactly when we're talking about them. Yeah, I thought that was one of, I would say, 4 or 5 plays today that looked really good. I count that seam pass to Hunter Henry late in the game as another one, but just not enough plays that looked right. You know how we always talk about, well, that was a Patriots pass play. Like when we're at practice at training camp, that looked like a Patriots play. They had about 3 of those today.
They've had about 3 all year, Paul.
All right. Seriously, when do I have to be the ray of sunshine? I mean, that's not my role.
True.
What are we doing? That's only my role on Wednesdays.
All right, what else?
Speaking
we got
of ray
for,
of sunshine,
Bads and Fred Kirsch in the house as well. Hi, Fred. How you doing?
How you doing? 13-4, still in play.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Only 2 games behind the Bills with 2 games to play with them.
It's gonna be a great 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just, hey, 5-4.
See, now that's a ray of
Here
sunshine.
we are. We made it.
Yeah. All we got to do is win every game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go just one at a time.
And hope everybody else loses.
Right.
Oh, but we're going to play them.
Because you're in last place.
But we're going to play the Bills twice. We're going to play the Jets one more time, right?
Yeah.
We're going to play Miami one more
Can
time.
beat them.
We'll be okay. Just win every game.
So defense, huh?
Can't argue with that. Just win every game.
Yeah.
Just win, baby.
So, Freddie, we had obviously a lot of superlatives on defense. We spoke with Josh Uche. Talked about the pass rush. Had pretty much everybody on defense included in the good list. And then the special teams, we talked about Jonathan Jones and the coaching to dial up that wrinkle on the punt block. Anything that stuck out to you otherwise, or say on the on the good list before we get your thoughts on bad?
Yeah, I mean, the D is what it is. It was just such a hard game to gauge, though, because both offenses just couldn't do really anything. I don't know. I guess mixing. I know it didn't amount to much, but at least mixing and matching on the offensive line, they knew they were in trouble right away. They got Strange out of there. They put Wynn in there for a little bit just to kind of stabilize things. Didn't work right away, but eventually, just to kind of mix things up there. But other than that, you mentioned the Smith play. There just wasn't much to talk about.
Okay,
on offense.
Anything on the bad lists? Besides, we talked about the offensive line and obviously the lack of cohesion offensively.
Well, I think just you can't do much when your offensive line is getting dominated. I mean, pretty much on every play, Ferentz would get knocked back 3 yards just to start. Just to start, Max got this guy 3 yards in his backfield on every play. You start there, and then it just goes downhill from there.
It was a little interesting to me. It felt like the first few possessions, they tried to kind of push the point of running into the middle, and they couldn't. I mean, they were going backwards trying to do it. And then once they adjusted, like you said, I don't want to say they were successful, but I thought they had more space to kind of work with once they started going outside. And I just found myself wondering, you knew what you were dealing with. Why wait till the third or fourth possession?
I thought they did too much of that. I thought they did too much of the zone stuff to the perimeter, and I think that's where the losses came from. The runs for a lot. I mean, I bet you Evan will have the numbers during the week when he does his review. But I thought there was too much sort of emphasis trying to go under center. We're going to run the stretch plays to the edges, and they had they had penetration on every one of those.
They did, so, and then, Mac did not play well.
No.
Like even with the offensive line, a lot of it was the fault of the O-line, but Mac just didn't have enough grasp of what was going on out there to be able to make something happen despite, having that pressure. Yeah, he was jumpy. He was skittish. So it was just bad all the way around.
I just think there were still times that he had enough time to make throws.
I think that's Fred's point.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, as bad as the pressure was, I keep seeing the guys show some of the highlights where he's got a beat in the pocket, and it doesn't even really seem like he's thinking about throwing it. It just looks like he's thinking.
Right.
He's thinking, tuck, try to run, try to squeeze out of it, and maybe rush. But today I think he wasn't really squirting.
Yeah,
out of the
he's
pocket
not.
and getting
Even on a quick pass, you still have to throw the guy open. You have to assume that he's going to make the cut when the play calls for the cut, and just throw it, as he's making the cut, not after he's made the cut. And he just, it's a confidence thing, I think, in himself and maybe in everyone around him. And he just didn't have the quick reaction to overcome, the lack of time.
Yeah.
He just was a little off. Like, this is a pass right here that was showing that could have been caught by Bourne. It's not a terrible throw, but it's out in front of him on the dead run. It's not an easy play. It looks like you slow it down like that, and you're like, how did he not catch that? But
that was early in the game, too, right?
He's on a dead run. It might have been the first third down of the game.
It was down low, right?
Maybe the second one.
Down by his shoe tops?
No, it wasn't that low, but it was catchable, but not a great throw. And you see we had a couple balls like this one. See, that's right there. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's not
way out.
That's not a great throw.
Yeah.
I mean, it's catchable. He's got two hands on it. He's an NFL receiver. He probably should catch that. But if he puts it on him, now he's catching it. He can protect it. He can protect himself and see if he can pick up the first down. Too many throws like that today. He had some turf balls that we were looking like, was that tipped? And you watch the replay and like, no, it didn't look like it was touched.
Yeah, that's the ball I was talking about, the one to Thornton.
Yeah.
That was down by his shoes.
Yeah, that's the one the three of us were convinced it was tipped until we saw the replay and we're like, it wasn't tipped.
What'd you guys think of that slide on the 5-yard line?
I
wanted him to give him the old Tom Brady Urlacher juke. You remember that?
I think there was room.
Waiting for
I think there was room for that to at least angle himself so he didn't get hit directly and maybe
juke him right there. Come on, man.
I mean,
I think he did the right thing.
You could hear the boos.
I think he did the right thing.
Not whether they were booing him or the play call or whatever, but people
give him
were
an eye fake.
People were booing on that.
People were booing all day.
Yeah.
I mean, the offense was getting roundly booed all day, but I don't think he was.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get hit pretty hard.
After seeing it a couple from this angle, you think, but yeah,
there was help to the inside, so we would have had a juke to the outside.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not telling you can't make a guy miss, but I don't think that's his forte, and I don't want him getting lit up there.
Yeah,
especially in a game like that. I know he's probably not thinking like that, but the game was over.
Or worse, fumbling the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't hear a lot of Zappe chants, if any.
I did not hear it.
I did not hear people chanting.
I will tell you, from the stands, people were saying that there was some Zappe talk.
Is that right?
People calling for Zappe in the stands.
Of course there was. On the blog, that was one of the topics du jour.
It just didn't come to a crescendo because Mac didn't throw a pick, and I think at that point would have.
And they were also never losing. Like like how I say what do you need to see? I need to see it done a different way.
Yeah.
And it's not his fault that it didn't have to be done a different way today.
Right. And the Patriots fan part of me never really felt angst in this game. Like, he always just kind of felt like, we're just
whatever the opposite of angst is what that entire game was. That game was never in doubt.
This would be a 50 burger back in the day. Today.
Oh, God.
But back in the day, do you mean like week 15 last year?
No, like
against Jacksonville?
Yeah.
That was that game today.
Yeah. No, this was primed for that type of game, but I didn't think it was going to happen because of our offense.
Yeah, our offense just isn't playing well enough to have that happen. I agree with you, Freddie.
I mean, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but do you think the offense is going to figure anything out this year?
Listen. It starts with the O-line.
Yeah, you got to get Andrews back.
I don't know.
I think that starts with the quarterback.
That must be a pretty bad concussion. He's now missed 2 games. So 3 weeks. It must be pretty bad. Now, they haven't put him on IR, obviously.
Right.
So
maybe they just wanted to make sure. This could be one of those things. And Bill does this. I know he says he doesn't, but I think he does. Where he looks at a game like this and says, we're not going to lose this game. We're not losing at home to the Colts.
Or we can afford
with
to.
Sam Ehlinger. Let's make sure he's okay. And then he gets the bye. That's 3 full weeks off. So it's 4 weeks between the last time he played and when he's playing again. And here come the Jets. Right?
All right. You mentioned the Jaguars last year. The Jaguars today came back from a double-digit deficit to hand the Raiders another loss for Josh McDaniel. That team, I don't understand how they're so bad.
I don't either.
Like, that's a good roster. I'd almost take that roster over in a lot of positions over New England's. And I swear to God, they cannot win a game.
I don't know how you...
They're unbelievable.
And this is like the 3rd time they've done this, where they scored 20-something points in the first half and get nothing in the second half. I think they did it against the Cardinals earlier in the year. They did it today. I don't understand how that happens.
I don't understand either. I mean, and having been in Vegas and watched those guys up close of how talented they were, I mean, it jumped off the field. I mean, just throw the ball to Devontae Adams. He's right. I mean, if it's in the vicinity, he's bigger, faster, stronger than anybody he's going against.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on out there. I know everyone here is blaming it on Josh, but I have no idea.
I mean, if you're blowing a lead on the road to Jacksonville, something's not right.
I mean, people are saying he's going to get fired. I don't think he's going to get fired after one season.
Like, to me, the only way you get fired in a season is when it's different stuff than performance.
Right.
It's mutiny.
Yeah.
It's just a tough position for Josh that you
Yeah.
took over a team that made the playoffs last year and acquired the best receiver in the league, and now is taking a step
and you're
back.
known for offense, and you can't play offense.
Yeah.
And Adams did have a big game today, 146 yards and 2 touchdowns on 10 catches. So it wasn't his fault, but that's a tough one there for the Raiders. Now 2-6, and they are winless on the road so far this year. So there you go. The Patriots, though, I mean, listen, this is a little win streak they got here going into the bye week. I think it's pretty clear what they need to do with this time off. The defense needs to throw a big party and invite all their friends, and the offense needs to just lock themselves in the film room and get out there and run those hills and get something going here, because this is nice. It's nice to win games. It certainly is, but how sustainable? You got the Bills coming up. You got 2 games against the Bills coming up, and you cannot score a touchdown unless you're starting on the 3.
I got to watch what the Jets did, because it's like, I got a lot of respect for how the Jets looked last week. Clearly, Zach Wilson's mistakes overshadowed anything good that they did last week. I haven't seen a bit of this game. I have no idea how they won it, but if somehow the Jets can pull off an upset, like somehow I think our defense can force the Bills to punt at some point. That to me is just the biggest.
It's all about matchups, and
The
Jets match up well up front on their defense.
They got a good front, yeah.
They've got a good front, and they've got, a couple good corners that, can, make it tough for Josh Allen when he's looking downfield. So, I didn't watch the game either, so I don't know if, they had Allen on the run or what was going on.
Allen had 9 carries for 86 yards, so he ran more than they probably want him to
run.
Right, that's
so,
for sure.
So that tells me that the coverage was good, you know?
Yeah.
He didn't have a great day. He was 18 for 34 for 205 with 2 picks. So, you hold them to 17 points, you did something defensively.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do. This is just it's not a good, in my opinion, it's not a great result for the Patriots.
No.
That game. You want to start getting in front of some of these teams. That was one I had penciled in the other way.
No, I kid when I say, you have 2 in hand with the Bills and all that.
But there is some truth to the
fact
that
you really
need
to catch the Jets before forget about the Bills.
I think the Jets are on the bye this week too. So you have 2 teams. If you beat them, you'll be tied record-wise, but you'll be above that.
Yeah, you could catch the Jets by beating
fine.
them. Yeah, but I'm just saying you want to get in front of these teams, and you had an opportunity today to get in front, or to get in front of the Jets and tie. You'd be losing the tiebreaker with Miami. It was close. You had a chance. I don't really think it's overly realistic that the Bills are going to lose that amount of games the rest of the way. It's certainly possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. But I think that you want to get into playoff position, and you had a chance today, very close. Chargers win late. Dolphins hold on and win late. Jets win late. So you stay behind everybody.
All right. We want to thank Cyber Reason, the presenters of Patriots Postgame. Great defenders don't just play in the field. They're also protecting your company and your data. Cyber Reason on a mission to end ransomware and keep your business undefeated against cyber attacks. Learn more at cyberreason.com/ransom. Phone number is 855-PATS-500. Email at webradio@patriots.com. We'll get to your calls and emails right after this.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
A pretty interesting game, a pretty weird game.
Pretty awful game.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Christian Arcand.
All right. What were we talking about there? Is it a Jets game? Is that the pretty awful game we were talking about? Must have been. Right? I've only done a couple of games. So.
I feel like I owe an apology to the Jets game.
I know, right?
This game was a hell of a lot better than this game.
The first half in particular, that the punt block woke me right up.
The punt block was the play
a nice
of the game.
Nap, yeah, and then all of a sudden, all this action happened. Fans started cheering. I was like, oh, okay. It's ruined my nap. Anyway, the Ace Ticket hotline is 855-PATS-500, and you can email the show at webradio@patriots.com. Let's go to the masses. What do you say, everybody? And take some calls, starting with Pat, who is in Agawam. Hello, Pat. You're first.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
How you doing, Pat?
So I think I said during the week that I just wanted them to get in, get out, relatively healthy, and just get into the bye week and hopefully see what happens after. Not just getting Dave Andrews back, but hopefully getting Christian Barmore back, too, for the second half of the season. And, I'm not expecting a lot from this team, but I'd like to just see him stay competitive. And that first quarter, that was a white-knuckle quarter, man. And, Paulie, my final thing, you were right. It's 2 weeks in a row where you had double-digit negative plays. I mean, they got to clean that up.
I don't know if it's just me, but when it's a game like where the other team, they can't do anything, even though when the Patriots can't, I don't get nervous. I get nervous when we can't stop somebody. But when you know that the other team's really not going to score a lot of points, I always feel like we'll figure it out. We'll get enough points to win. I always feel that way. Like, in that Super Bowl against the Rams, like I felt like we were in control, even though it was right down to the wire.
Yeah.
I would agree in terms of winning and losing the game. And in that particular game, you're talking about the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
The Patriots moved the ball far better than anything that they did on any drive, any play today at all. I never felt they were going to figure it out today.
Right.
I never felt like this is the drive. Never once did I feel that.
Why would you?
That Rams game, like they moved the ball in spurts and then they would the Rams were a good defense. They'd come up with a play. They'd minimize it. They'd, get a pick, get off the field or whatever.
Yep.
Today, they didn't move the ball all day. Not once.
And it wasn't just because it was conservative play calling either. Like, they took some shots.
They tried a lot of different things.
Yeah. I mean, Thornton had a step, but the ball was just overthrown. I mean, again, if Mac was playing well, you have to admit this game would have looked different. He would have made some plays despite the pressure. But plays that were there, like the throw to Thornton, or just going a little bit too far in front of Bourne, or overthrowing Thornton down the field, those plays get made.
Yeah.
Even the little wheel route to Stevenson down the sideline.
That was a touchdown.
He had 2 steps.
Good call, Freddie.
He had 2 steps. Now, it would have had to been a good pass because you had to get over the defense. You had to drop it in there. But if he was playing well, you're scoring like 40 points today. You know
what I enjoyed? When Jacoby Myers ran up and took that snap and then fell forward 2 yards. I don't know why, but that made me laugh.
Yeah, I mean, I even looked at that and I was like, so we're throwing wrinkles out there, and we need 2 linemen and a quarterback to push him over the line for the first down. It's like, well, we can't get anything.
It's funny. The Colts did the same thing. It's just like both teams were desperate.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And they couldn't get it either. Like, it was bad offense.
That's why I kept feeling like
All
I felt
day.
the same way you did.
Oh,
but
the
I kept
game was over.
I kept reminding myself, though, if they just get a touchdown, it's
like
a game.
It's like at the end of the game, you're like, okay, 2 defenses were doing a tug of war, and whoever wins that actually wins.
The only thing is, I felt like you, Mike, and I was thinking, geez, I know it's 16-3, but all it takes is 1 touchdown. But I was thinking, but the only way the Colts could get a touchdown is a scoop and score or a pick 6.
Yeah.
That's why I was mad. There was 1 kickoff. I think they had all touchbacks today on kickoffs. There was 1 that came short. And I was mad. I was like, don't give them a free opportunity. Yeah. That's the only way they can score. Yeah. Is someone gets the ball in their hands and they break a couple of tackles and they go. That was the only way that the Colts were scoring today.
On that last Bailey punt, did he do that on purpose? It was a 7-yard punt. Did you see it?
No.
Oh.
Very, very last? Oh, I think
the very last punt by Bailey, it was a 7-yard punt. Huh. I thought he kicked it directly out of bounds, and he did it on purpose.
Punt 7 yards. I can't imagine he did that on purpose.
I don't know. But they were showing him on the sideline, and he didn't look too upset.
He seems all over the map to me now. Like
he's having a weird year.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a beat on him for good list, bad list, that kind of stuff. Because he did have 1 good punt, but then he had another one.
The first punt of the day was good. I didn't think any of his other punts were very good. And even the first punt was return. It was like a 13 or 14-yard return.
Mm-hmm.
Like they, I don't know. I think he's just working through some stuff.
Yeah.
But that first punt was a bomb. It was like a 59-yarder.
Yeah, it was up there. Good hang time, and then he had back to his line drive later on. But you guys were already headed down. His last punt was literally 7 yards.
Yeah, no, I just looked it up. Yeah.
Like just really high?
No,
7 yards?
It went right off his foot.
Now, there's a chance that Bill told him just kick it out of bounds.
Just kick it out of bounds. Yeah, I think he said.
Don't give him a chance to run it back. But
you think you could go farther out of bounds?
Yeah, I don't think you would have to do it like that.
I think he just said, just kick it. Make this a non-play.
I don't even care.
Nobody gets hurt. The Colts are just going to run it into the line. They've given up, so just kick it out of bounds. Yeah. So,
all right, makes
sense.
I'm
hoping that's the case.
Let's go to Eric, who is in New Jersey, who has I don't know what he wants to talk about. Go ahead, Eric. What do you got?
First off, I got to give a shout out to the Colts for Buckner and Stewart. They just put a clinic on in the middle. I know Deuce, front 7 guy.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. That was Buckner. I know Bill doesn't like drafting those guys. I know he likes those 2-gap guys, but Buckner, he is a dog. Just love to see it, but this was fool's gold. I mean, this is a parallel universe from name the year where we just beat up. I mean, it was criminal. It was criminal. Frank Wright putting Sam Ehlinger out there, then even having them come out the half. Like, I mean, to stay here and to take any. I mean, the guys went out there. They made the play on defense, but to take anything away, that was inept. That was JV quarterback play out there. And then the offense. I don't know. Like I said, this year, I wasn't planning on. I didn't take this as a year. Going to win a championship. I just wanted the offense to evolve, take a next step. Mac take a next step. Some of these guys, the second-year guys. I mean, that's what the plan was for me for this year as a fan. Just to see, some evolving. But it just hasn't been there, and it's just at what point? I mean, at what point do we see that next step? I mean, to win games here, then what? You're going to draft in the middle of the rounds, and I mean, as a fan, from the outside looking in, it's just it's like we're stuck in perpetual motion here, and it's just like the same thing every year. You beat up on the bad teams, the good teams come, and we got boo-boo running down our legs, and
yeah,
But again, Buckner, that guy's a dog, and I would just love for us to get something like that. And I'll take it off the line. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Eric.
Was it the last year? Was the 25-0 win over Atlanta? Was that the game before the bye?
No.
Oh,
no,
it wasn't?
the Bills game was the
Bills.
Oh, the
game
Bills,
and the Hurricane
the win game,
the win
right?
game.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the offense was better in that Atlanta game, but this kind of reminded me of that, where the defense was just lights out. And I think in that 25-0,
very similar.
I think 14 of the points were defensive points.
Yeah, it was very similar.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything offensively in that game. You're right, Fred, to compare the two.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just wish I had some hope for the offense right now, because it seems to me, based on these results, that like we were talking about in the pregame show, there's opportunities to be there. I mean, there's maybe some teams that you don't think the Patriots could beat, but they still have a good defense. They're still a well-coached team. It's just right now I struggle to think they can get over the hump with an offense.
Mac has to all of a sudden flip a switch, and that switch isn't going to get flipped until the line plays
right now,
better.
there's no question the offense is the much bigger issue, but I need to see that good defense against a good offense at some point.
Oh, true, true.
Like, I do not have that faith against any offense that has a pulse. I really don't.
Yeah, the defense has done well again. I mean, they did well against Miami. Like they were good against the Dolphins.
I don't really think they did.
They held them to 20 points.
Yeah, and it was 20-0. They put it in neutral, and the game was over.
Okay,
that's
fair enough.
I mean, that was also the very first game of the year.
Right. They were not good against Jackson, not good against Rodgers, definitely not good against Fields. But other than that, they've managed to do what they can against the other quarterbacks who haven't really been very good quarterbacks.
Teams that can't punch back, they dominate. Now, listen. I know a lot of teams in this league that can't do what the Patriots did to the Colts today. There's a lot of teams. Washington didn't do that to the Colts last week. The Colts should have won that game last week, and they did enough offensively to win the game. The Patriots dominated today. Yeah. I just need to see it against the team that can move the ball before I'm convinced that anything's changed.
I get your point, and I'm just all I'm saying is that I can maybe at least point to some evidence, like having Matthew Judon, who's leading the league in sacks right now, that there are some elements here that give you hope and that make you think, all right, they'll make some plays against some of these teams. With offense, I can't even talk myself into it. And you're right, Paul. They got to go out there, and I mean, I've been saying it all show already.
Yeah.
They got to go out there and do it against
that's the
Miami
thing.
and Buffalo.
The reason why you're worried, even with the defense, is the offense isn't going to score more than 20 points against a good team. And against a good team, any defense is going to have trouble.
How good a defense can you really even play?
Right. So I think it's a good defense, but it's not good enough to overcome the lack of offense.
Yeah, but if I thought going into a game against a Buffalo or a Kansas City or a Green Bay, like that day against Green Bay, not what you think of Green Bay now.
Did they end up losing today?
Yeah.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
It was like 15-9.
If I thought
what kind of a score is that?
If I thought going into one of those games the Patriots were going to be able to hold a team like that, Baltimore, under 20, I don't think there's any chance of that. I don't think there's any chance of that. I have just as much concern about the defense in a game like that as I do the offense. And that's and I understand your point, Fred. Like, because you have to hold it under 25 or you can't win. You don't go into a game like that with a lot of confidence because it's hard to hold the good teams down like that.
And you can't get a lead so that, you kind of dictate.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wonder how the defense feels like psychologically about what you have on the other side of the ball and how perfect do we have to be and how many turnovers do we have to get every game.
Right.
Is this what we have to do every week? We got to sack a backup quarterback 9 times to really make it a dominant.
Well, they have to score.
Patriots win.
There's a lot on the defense's plate. I'm not blaming. It probably sounds like I'm ripping the defense. I'm not. There's a lot on their plate.
Yeah.
They not only can't allow them to score, they have to set up scores.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
So you get the Jets in 2 weeks, and who do you think learned more from that last game, the Jets or the Patriots?
I mean, it's going to be a dog
Well, the
fight.
Jets after that game beat Buffalo, so they
so
learned
are
something from
the
that
Jets
game,
are on the bye next week?
I think they're on the bye as well.
So that's I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but I think that's a toss-up.
Are you kidding me? Of course it is.
I mean,
Jets are going to come in sky high.
Absolutely.
And feeling like
they let one slip away. We got to get it back, just like Buffalo did last year.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go back to the phones. Joel is in San Antonio. Hi, Joel.
Hey, guys. Thank you for taking my call. First off, the defense was absolutely spectacular today. The offense didn't really give us a lot to be cheerful for. I feel more like, a win is a win, but I feel more like we just didn't lose the game rather than we won it. And Paulie, yes, Stevenson, best player on our team, but offensive MVP, Nick Folk. I mean, all due respect to him, but that's kind of like a sad thing to say. The Jets are going to come in sky high, like y'all say right now, and it's going to be a tough game for sure. So thank you for taking my call. And
I agree with everything. I agree with everything you said.
Yeah.
I mean, not too much to disagree with there. Certainly when it comes to the defense, and of course Nick Folk is the MVP of the team because, I mean, I don't know what it is. Kickers put on the Patriots jersey and never miss a field goal for the rest of their careers. Like every single that doesn't matter who it is.
It's coaching.
They just pop it on and boom, all of a sudden they cannot ever miss a field goal ever in their life.
I mean, I flash back for a minute. My first season here, 2019, I came in. Gostowski was here. Then Gostowski got hurt, and then it was like a few weeks of
Shane Graham.
Another guy. Wasn't there another guy too? Like there were three different.
There was
guys.
a guy that missed. I think Kai Forbath.
I think he missed after Nick Folk had the appendicitis.
The exception that proves the rule.
You never would have thought in a million years that
out
of that
the operation,
one of those guys was going to come out and be your kicker for the next 3 years and like never miss inside of 50.
It's the operation.
Yeah, can't make one. Good job.
We've had a lot more than 3 guys now.
It's true. All right, let's keep it going here. How about Dustin in Ontario, our neighbors to the north up there in Canada? Hi, Dustin.
Hey, guys. Good afternoon. How y'all doing?
Hey, Dustin.
Good. So I'm going to take it back to a question I heard from, I think it was Dussault in the pregame show. Except I'm just going to sort of word it a bit differently and see what everyone thinks. So what do you guys think the Patriots have to gain from making the playoffs? At this point, looking ahead at our schedule, I don't really see the offense showing us anything new. I don't see them developing any sort of identity. I want to make it very clear. This is purely my opinion. I don't feel that I'm right or wrong saying any of this, but I just wanted to know what you guys thought. Whether or not the Patriots have anything to gain from
You're too good to tank. You're too good to tank at this point.
If you believe that there's some young guys in the team that are going to stick around, the experience of getting to the playoffs is important.
Yeah.
You know?
I would also add that you're not making the playoffs unless you play better offensively. So I think you might think about it a lot differently 6-7 weeks from now.
If you got there, you did something right.
Like you're not going to win like you did today 8 times the rest of the way and squeak into the playoffs. It's not going to happen.
No. Yes,
that's a great point.
You're going to have to beat. It's going to start in 2 weeks. You're going to have to beat a Jets team coming off and just knocking off Buffalo and feeling like whatever. What are they 5-3 now? I mean, they're 6 and. I mean, they're
the Jets.
The Jets. What is
Jets are
6-3. 6-3. So I mean, they're building a pretty good season. They now have another opportunity to come in here. Every week is going to be like that now. And if the offense doesn't take a stride, they're not even going to sniff the playoffs. Right. The only way they're going to make the playoffs is if the offense figures out how to score some touchdowns.
They're going to have to figure something out.
I'm
and
really
if that's
impressed.
the case, then that caller has a different mindset.
Right.
Right.
You know?
You're starting to believe maybe a little bit. At least they got
and
something.
I'm impressed with the Jets' response because that was a game that they absolutely had to be kicking themselves for losing last week. They gave a game away at home to a team that they probably felt like they were better than. In the old Jets would have absolutely lost today. So I give them a lot of credit. Obviously, they caught Buffalo on a down day, but I'm sure they had something to do with it.
Yeah, and I think that for the Patriots, they may not be a playoff team, but I don't think that they're in any position to try and tank it from here on out. There's too many teams that are like 2-3 win team. I know they only have 5 wins, but
it's not like the difference.
You have to
between,
be worse than all of them if you want to really get into this.
Right, but it's not a difference of like making the playoffs or tanking. It's like, are you better off getting as high a draft pick as you can, I think, is what the caller's point is. Like, they're not going to try to lose games.
No.
I don't really think that happens anywhere near as often as people.
But Paul, I think your point is the key point.
Right. They have to get better to make the playoffs.
If they make the playoffs, that means that the offense started to play better.
Yeah.
And if the offense starts to play better, there's hope.
And the other part of that is if this defense is a little bit better than it has been, they should be able to stop Minnesota. Who hasn't been? They haven't played well offensively all year. They're 7-1. I don't know what they're doing. They're 7-1, but they haven't had a good offensive game since like opening day. So maybe they can slow down Minnesota. Maybe that's one of those crap quarterbacks in Kirk Cousins that they can contain. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think you might look differently if all of a sudden you go to Minnesota and win, and then maybe, you're able to beat back-to-back Arizona and Vegas. I think people are probably looking at that, can we split those two? Neither one of those teams is playing well.
Yeah.
So you might be able to beat both of those teams, and I think you might have a different perspective.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the offense and some of the shortcomings today. The offensive line was obviously a big one. Mac Jones, I don't think anyone had a great game today. We didn't talk much about the play calling yet and what was coming in from the sidelines. Any impressions on that? Any takeaways? Things you noticed in real time that you liked or didn't like?
I'm not good at saying, it was bad play calling. Like, I didn't see any,
you just said it sounded great.
Why are you calling that play in that situation? I didn't see a lot of that. I just saw Colts in the backfield where the play can't even get going.
Well, I think that part of I didn't like the scheme in the run game early on. I thought with two backup offensive linemen to ask these slow developing plays that require a lot of timing and cohesion when there's two guys out there that haven't been out there, I think was asking a lot. But in terms of what they dialed up, it's easy to look. I mean, look at a play like that. It's just a simple dive up the middle, and it's a 3-yard loss.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the fault of the play call.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, there's going to be far too much blame laid at the feet of Matt Patricia and Joe Judge.
I can't get to the play call. I can't get beyond just what is the overall chemistry of the offense because they
gave a running back 10 carries today, and he got 9 yards.
They have no identity.
Is that play calls?
And play calls get so specific, and when you're hitting plays and you're hitting this one, and that one didn't quite work, but you had to hit that one, and this would have been the perfect time for this play. It's they can barely string 2 plays together. How am I going to tell them which play they should or shouldn't have run?
Exactly.
Just run a regular play. I don't care. Just make something effective that picks up some yards.
And you're looking at some wrinkles they tried. I don't think they were vanilla. I mean, they had a couple of jet sweep, jet action. They faked some. They
fakes,
gave
yeah.
some.
Well, yeah, and
they had a nice misdirection screen. I thought they dialed some different things up. Very little of it worked.
But and the margin of error. Even the play to Smith, the little screen that went for, I don't know what it was, 23 yards or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Mac had to go sidearm, almost underhand, to get because the guy was in his face.
Yeah.
If that guy tips the ball, you're like, oh, it's a terrible play call. Well, it turns out it sucked the defense in, and he had all that room in front of him.
It's the best play of the game.
Because
to illustrate that, though, how
but
close
if Mac
it is.
doesn't execute, now it's a bad play.
Right.
Well, but just to illustrate, how the offense. So that was 24 yards to Smith. You know what John O. Smith ended up with for the game?
24 yards?
No. Try again.
32.
23?
No, try again.
22?
No.
Am I going the wrong direction?
No, you're going the right direction.
20?
Yeah, 3 catches for 21 yards with a long of 24.
Right.
That, is that play calls or you just are not executing anything?
You're just
not
blocking.
You're not blocking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. All right. Well, someone in North Carolina, Josh in North Carolina, has a potential solution for this problem. Josh, what's your solution? Josh?
Good job, Hardy.
I really set him up as well as I possibly could have.
Somebody
the
was talking
subject
about
line said trade
good
for
on
Josh
offense.
McDaniels. That's what it
I thought
said
Smith.
there.
We're talking about blocking. Smith did have a good block on a bounce out play by Stevenson. He cracked down down the middle and allowed Stevenson to bounce it outside. It was one of Stevenson's best runs.
Little crack toss.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a few plays. We named him. I think 3 plays. That was what we got to.
Little Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup.
He gone.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think the Rams got this one. All right, let's try D in Baltimore. Hey, D.
Sweet D.
Hello.
What's up?
How you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
How you doing?
I'm good.
All right, what's up?
So
5-4, maybe.
I got a question. How better do you guys think Mac Jones is playing than Zappe that he deserved to be the starter? People keep saying we played against bad teams with Zappe. We played against bad teams with Mac. He didn't look no better.
You didn't play against the bad defense today, and you didn't play against the bad defense last week either.
Nope, that's true.
It was a good defense you should play the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but Bailey Zappe, I mean, is Cleveland's defense a bad defense? Because Bailey's, is it?
Yep.
Do you think Joe Burrow thinks so?
One of the worst in the league.
I mean,
I'm just going by the season. I'm not going by one game against a division team.
They've played a lot better since that Patriots game, and Bailey Zappe had his way with that defense. And I think that, until Mac Jones...
Are you a Zappe guy, Christian?
It is statistically, at the time, it was statistically the 30th ranked defense in football.
Really?
Yeah. And the Colts are
that high, huh?
The Colts are much higher than that. The Jets are much higher than that.
They're better.
Chicago's pass defense was third in the league going into the game. Like, there's no comparison. Now, is Mac Jones playing well? Nope. Fred said it, I think, perfectly.
He's not playing.
He's had opportunities to make plays. It's not all pass protection. When he's had chances to make plays, he's not made them consistently.
Because I think the pass protection's in his head.
I agree.
And I what we need to figure out over the bye week is what's in Mac's head right now.
Yeah.
What's he thinking? Like, how does he get out of this funk and, like, forget about the losing. Just play the game. Play the game.
I think you're right about the protection. I just wonder how much of a part of this is him just not seeing the offense the way it needs to be
I think
seen,
I think it's a big part of him. I think Christian said Mac Jones should be on the bat. I would agree with that.
Doesn't look like he's ever working his way through progressions, finding the third guy.
Let's talk about this.
Well, wait, Christian, are you a Zappe guy?
No question. I can tell.
Yeah.
Just say it.
To the extent.
Own it.
This tone.
Own it.
This tone.
What do you mean, own it? He's the only one who's had a good game this year.
What
Bailey
do you mean,
Zappe has had
own
a game
it.
where you can look at those numbers and say that is a good quarterback game.
Good job.
And Mac Jones does not
Good
have
job.
one of those
That's
games
it.
yet.
Attaboy.
That's it.
Attaboy.
You know what
Attaboy.
Mac Jones' projected stats are this year? They're
good,
ghastly.
Yes.
They're It's like
The
3,000 yards.
The last I saw,
6
he was like
touchdowns and
37
15
out of
interceptions.
38 qualifying quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's having a
You can
horrific
snicker and
year.
laugh at Zach Wilson all you want. He's down there with Zach Wilson.
Yeah. I mean,
I agree with you. Now, here's the question.
Now, Zappe may not be much better, but at least he's had one game you can look at, point to, and say,
if
look
you're
at this.
Bill, are you thinking about it? Or do you just think that would do too much irreparable damage?
I think if you make the move to Bailey at this point, you're pretty much done with Mac. I mean, how hard is it to make that move at this point when you're 5-4? You've won 2 games since he's returned. Has he played well? Nope. But how do you make the move right now unless you're just saying you're not doing it anymore?
This is This is where we're going.
That's the end.
Yeah.
I mean, is that would you write the end to Mac Jones right now? I don't think I'm ready to do that. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not far from doing it, but I don't think you can. I think I get what people are saying about Zappe, but there's just nothing that makes me think that you put him in there and all of a sudden it looks magically different.
Yeah, and I'm not teasing Christian for being pro Zappe because listen, I think he's right. I think the Cleveland game was the best play that we've had from a quarterback in the season. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think the quarterback has played better than Zappe did in that game. In
Mac's
any
best
of
game
the
was
9
Baltimore,
games.
probably, right? And he had
three
interceptions in that
three
game.
picks.
Yeah.
So I'm not making fun of Christian for feeling that way, and I know other people because I'm getting the same stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look right. I'm sure Fred, you're getting it on the blog the same way.
Yep.
I'm just wondering if Bill is in a situation where he almost can't. He almost can't because then he loses Mac.
Yeah.
If he's healthy and you go and you make a move, I don't know. I mean, I suppose you can just say, well, we went with the guy who was playing better and thought gave us a better chance. And, I mean, history in that league is littered with situations like that, like we used to talk about with the old Giants with Bill Parcells. He had Phil Simms in and out with Scott Bruner early in his career, and Simms ended up settling down into a good quarterback. So I don't know if you have to lose Mac Jones forever if you take him out. But it's a risk.
Yeah,
it's a risk. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I think
you need to.
I think you need to do it coming off mistakes. Like this is his first game. He didn't throw an interception. Like if it got bad and he was throwing more and he just couldn't stop the turnovers even against the bad teams and they're losing the bad teams because of that, then I think it's time. But
I thought a bad game like this wouldn't do it. I think you're right. I think you said it in the pregame show. It would have to be like 3 picks or something like
just
that.
Mentally,
that's about as bad as a quarterback can play without turning the ball over to me today.
Yeah,
he was thoroughly ineffective for 4 full quarters. And I know you look at it, he's 20 for 30. You're like, I don't know, but 147 yards. I mean, come on. Yeah.
Those are T-bone numbers. Let's go to Will, who is down in Hawaii. Hi, Will. Will? Hello. Aloha.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up?
I wanted to make a point because the last caller actually hit on it. With Bailey Zappe, and am I crazy? And a lot of people tell me I am, but it's the only time this entire year I've actually felt good about the offense.
Yeah, it was. It was one game, but you're right. The
Will, you're singing my song right now.
The Cleveland game, the offense looked better than it has in any other game. I don't think there's any arguing it. I'm with you.
Okay, because people tell me I'm crazy. Because I'm happy whenever the Patriots win. I'm happy today. I take my kids out, we celebrate. But I don't get that warm and fuzzy feeling I get. I'm a Zappe guy, in case you guys didn't know. But I don't get that warm and fuzzy feeling I got when Zappe was in there. The offense just looked better. And I don't know why the Patriots won't pull the trigger on this? Like, I don't get it.
Because they don't think he's better. I mean, I'm not telling you who's right or who's wrong, but I mean, that's the simple answer. They think Mac Jones is a better player.
Right.
And for all the Bailey Zappe stuff, I'm going to push back a little bit. It was one game. Because the offense looked the same when Bailey Zappe played. There's stops and starts. I mean, like,
and he wasn't
go
very
watch
good
the
against
second half of the
Detroit
Chicago
either. Yeah.
game. He was pedestrian against Detroit. Matter of fact, Detroit was very similar to today.
Yeah, right.
Where
It
the
was.
defense set up all the points.
Right.
The Cleveland game.
And Stevenson had a great
Cleveland
game.
game
The Cleveland game was different.
But with the Bears, they put him in. He had a spark, but then that was it. I mean, they shut him down after that.
It's true. I think we can all agree. When Bailey Zappe was throwing the ball, it was the only time this year where it seemed like it was.
Well, everybody was excited.
And they were going against the bad D. Fine.
Yeah.
But I also think that everything was vastly exaggerated. So it's Bailey Zappe. like every time, like if he threw a ball like that Mac threw to Hunter Henry today down the seam.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like there's nobody within 8 miles, right? That play?
He was wide open.
It was great. I give Matt Patricia and the coaches, whoever, whatever they did, they dialed up something and got a guy in zone underneath, no one on him. Easy pitch and catch. If Zappe completes that, it's like Zappe just gets it out quicker. He's hitting them. He's finding the soft spots. Whereas, I know. Mac Jones does it, and it's like that was the one good play of the game.
Speaking as an unabashed Zappe guy, I do acknowledge the fact that the film is out, and I think everybody just knows if you put a hand up at the line, you got an 80% chance of tipping the thing.
I think the offense has been pretty clunky
diminutive
both ways, with the exception of the Cleveland game.
Yeah.
Cleveland game, I don't know what they did in that game, but
Same thing last year.
Somebody was saying today, because I think Mac I don't know if he had one tipped or something, but it's like, well, he's 6'3". He's not 6'3".
I know. I think he's listed at 6'3", but
he's more like 6'2".
I saw Phil Perry interviewing him once, and he's not much taller, if he was at all, taller than Phil Perry.
Well,
so I don't know
Phil's
how
a
tall he
house.
is. Is he tall? Is Phil real big?
Phil could play quarterback.
Oh, you think so?
No, I mean Phil's he's pretty tall, but yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people have referenced that.
Yeah.
Wasn't much difference.
Okay. Let's go to Moises in Connecticut, our good friend Moises. What's up?
Hey, Paul. Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
What's up?
All right.
Hey.
This was a crazy win, but you know what? A W is a W, but after the bye, we got 3 good games, and they're all winnable games. We got to start winning our games.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're winning games right now. Yeah. They're winning games.
You got to start winning these games.
If those games, I mean, they're all winnable.
Yeah.
Technically.
They've won 4 out of 5. I mean, it's not like they're not winning games. You don't have to start winning games. You've started. You got the Jets, who is, I think, going to be ready for you. Minnesota, who I think is better than you do, Paul. I think that they got some real firepower on offense with that run game.
I know, but it hasn't really materialized.
The run game has, I think. No,
they don't score any points.
It's true. They don't score a lot of points, but I do think they're good at sort of running the clock down and keeping it away from the other team.
Yeah, I mean, I might have that kind of feeling if I see them, because I haven't. I'll be the first full disclosure. I saw them play one game. They got completely dominated by Philadelphia. That's the only game that they were on, in one of the primetime windows that I got a chance to see them.
And I'm not sure I'm ready to call any Bills game a winnable game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If the next 3 are winnable, then they're all winnable.
Right. Yeah, if those are winnable, everything's winnable.
Because you're playing the Jets, who you just had a knockdown, drag-out war with.
Right.
And then you play Minnesota, right?
Thanksgiving night.
And then Buffalo?
Thursday
the 2
night.
back-to-back Thursdays?
Yes.
If those are winnable, and any game you'll ever play, anywhere, is winnable.
If the Bills are winnable, then any game's winnable, because I still think they're the best team in the league.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, 855-PATS-500. That's your phone number. As we continue to sift through your phone calls, Kieran is in San Francisco. Hi, Kieran.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up?
I just wanted to call in and be the ray of sunshine, as Paul likes to say today. I think that Belichick has to be by far the best coach in the league, and I know that opinion on him has waned a lot this year in the last few years. But look at how many teams are lower than us in the wild card race or right around us in the wild card race, and how much more talent they have, and we're still kind of nipping at the heels. And I would rather watch a bad wild card hunt than a team tank any year. And that's kind of been the story's last 3 years. So I'll take that all
who's
day, every
tanking?
day, and I'm going to be incredibly appreciative.
Before you go, who's tanking? Just out of curiosity.
Who's tanking right now? No, I'm not
Yeah.
saying anyone's tanking that we are. I'm saying I would rather be a bad wild card team than a tanking team.
Well, me too, but I don't think anybody's tanking.
He was
saying
referring to that
us.
other call. Yeah, he was talking
saying
about the
us.
other caller. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
I mean,
that's what he was referring to.
Yeah, but I don't think the other caller was suggesting that they tank. I
Well-
think he was suggesting that it might be better off if they don't make the playoffs.
Right.
that's what
he's
he's
saying. What's
saying.
the value? And he's
Well,
saying,
is-
I'd rather
is
they're
there
in
any
a playoff
value? I'd
race.
rather
But you can do both. You can be in a wild card hunt and not make the playoffs in the end. I think you could do both.
No, I
you don't
know.
have to try to lose.
But I think
Splitting
I think
hairs a little
he
bit, yeah.
wouldn't be upset if the Patriots lost a lot of games and had a better draft pick, because he doesn't feel there's a lot to gain.
No, but I think you could easily just say Miami beat Tennessee in Week 17 last year, and ultimately they made the playoffs instead of the Patriots. Nothing changed. You went 10-7, didn't make the playoffs. That guy would have been happier than making the playoffs and getting blasted and being home. And then being like 2 or 3 spots lower in the draft. That's all that guy was saying.
Yeah.
He wasn't saying he wants them to go 4-13. I don't think, and maybe I'm putting words in his
I don't
mouth.
know.
Maybe he did,
Yeah.
but I don't think he wanted them to tank.
Well, they can't do it now because they at least have to be 5-12.
Right.
Even if they
Correct.
lose all the rest
Well, I know,
of the
that's
games.
And Fred's got him 13-4, so I don't even know what we're talking about.
Right. 13-4 is in play.
Still in play.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. How many draft spots are you really talking about? It's like people are thinking like you're going to go from 20 to 3. Like, you maybe go from 20 to
and that's
to
Fred's
14.
point. Like, well, what are you actually going to gain by losing a game or two here and there? You're not going to lose enough games. Like I think Christian said that too. You're not going to lose enough games to discernibly improve your draft stock. So
I just think too, like your franchise,
they got to find a way to win some games against teams that quote unquote are better than them. They haven't done that in a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. All right, the phone number is 855-PATS-500. Emails at webradio@patriots.com. We'll do emails a little bit later on in the show. In the meantime, let's go to Craig, who is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Craig.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going.
Hey, I want to just weigh in. And first off, I'm a Mac guy in terms of Paul's little poll.
In terms of what?
But
my little poll.
Okay.
He'll tell you about his poll later.
Sure.
It's little.
So I guess just watching this game, and I've taken a couple of weeks off for personal reasons I haven't been able to watch, but I was hoping to see some progression out of Mac. It was a tough watch, but just about every drive, there's like something that someone else on the offense does really bad, and then there's something that Mac does really bad. And so, like, in my opinion, and just like the blame pie, there's somebody else always contributing to some issue, something that gives us like 5 yards off, or like a drop pass by Tyquan Thornton today, like stuff like that. Now, Zappe was able to overcome a little bit of that when he was running the offense, but like I feel like this offense just in general is missing some pieces. I know Fred's big on like we have the pieces in place, but I just don't feel like there's really good play out of too many positions beyond Ramondre. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lack cohesion, and
when
I
you're
think they
playing
lack an
like
identity.
When you're playing like this, there's so much pressure on every play. Like every play is critical. It's precious.
Right.
You can't. If you're 3rd and 12, you're not gonna overcome that. Like every play is critical.
To Fred's point, I don't think they overcame it with Zappe either. And here's the thing: like, I understand that people thought it looked better because at times it did. And against Cleveland, it without question did. The same thing that I thought about the offense right now and with Mac, I thought with Zappe. Everything was great unless they were losing. When they were behind against Green Bay, they had the ball in Green Bay territory, the same as we complain now. They had the ball in Green Bay territory against the Packers in overtime, and what happened? 3 and out. Punt. They had the ball, when they were behind against Chicago, what happened? Couldn't move the ball. This offense is pedestrian when they're leading. It's almost like non-existent when they're losing. And that was the case with Zappe and with Mac.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Outside of the Cleveland game. I want to say a big thank you to our sponsor, Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider and laptop of the NFL and the New England Patriots that provides players and coaches with the tools to succeed both on and off the field. Check out the powerful Surface Pro 8, combining the power of a laptop with the flexibility of a tablet at surface.com. Quick break. We'll get to more of your phone calls and emails right after this.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
How did they have 10 points on the first 4 drives but only have 9 points in the game? Did I miss PFF math again?
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Christian Arcand.
All right, we're back here. It's Patriots Postgame presented by Cyber Reason. I'm Christian Arcand, Mike Dussault in the house as well, Paul Perillo, and of course Fred Kirsch here as well. And now it's time to hear from the head coach, who's brought to you by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Great memories are made in Massachusetts, no matter how you choose to make them, indoors, outdoors, scenic views, city vibes, solo or family style, whatever moves you, whatever the season, plan your perfect Massachusetts getaway at visitma.com. All right, here's Bill.
Well, first of all, just on behalf of the players and the coaches that wore the badges, in my case, Timothy Clegg, or the number or the initials on their helmets. Proud to be out there and recognize the people that have fought and died for our country and defended us, and for the ones that were enlisted today, and just a tribute to our great military and what they stand for and how they protect us. So. Definitely proud to be a part of that. Seeing the Taps families, on the way on and off the field kind of, keeps things in perspective here. But, good win for our team. Certainly a lot better than the last time we played the Colts. Had a lot of big plays defensively. Obviously the third down and field position that they created for us. Big play in the kicking game, and we're able to convert enough of those, score enough points to win, and so that's what it's about in this league. So always things that we can do better, but really good to walk off the field today with a good win against the Colts, and a team that we obviously didn't play very well against last year. So it was a little different story today. But big day for John Jones. Big day for our team defense, coverage, rush. Great game plan by the defensive coaches and well executed. Put a lot of pressure on the Colts, and they're able to take advantage of those situations. So headed by Jew. Amen. Yeah, had a big day out there for us. A big day. So.
Yeah, Coach, can you just talk about the pressure up front led by Judon and Uche with 3 sacks each of what they were able to do, Ellinger?
Yeah, well, the sacks are the sacks. I think some of those came when the quarterback, was flushed out by somebody else. Somebody else got them. So whoever ended up get them. But, there was a lot of pressure from, we got pressure on early downs, created some long yardage situations. And then, Jew, Josh, Dan, we had a couple secondary pressures in there that hit as well. So it was just good team defense, and anytime you have a good pass rush, you have good coverage, And anytime you have good coverage, you're going to have a good pass rush. So some of those sacks look like kind of coverage sacks where there's nobody to throw to. Some of them were great rush sacks that, they just didn't have time to execute the passing game. So, but good team defense. That's really what it's about.
Dan Roach in the back.
Bill, I know you talk about this a lot, but how pleased were you in that second quarter to see the John Jones block punt and then that lead to the touchdown pass from Mac to Ramondre Stevenson, the complimentary football that you like?
Yeah, it was great. That's, great job by, our special teams unit. We had good returns today. We had good kickoff return. We had a couple of good punt returns. One in particular went for, we got good field position on that. And then I think that was the first one. And then we came back with the, with the block. John timed it up perfectly. It was, well designed by Cam and Joe. And they timed it up well. It hit well. We had a chance to scoop it in there, but couldn't quite stay on our feet, and then, but then offensively, we were able to, finish the job and get the touchdown. So it's a good play, good throw from Mac to Mondre. John's interception, was a good catch, another tough catch. Low ball, came up with it, and they got a couple good blocks there, and you're not going to catch John from behind. So once he saw some space, it was all over. So it was a big place for us. It's 14 points that are kind of bonus points that. It's hard to count on going into the game, but when you get them, it makes a big difference in the final score.
Bill, what went into the decision to rotate at left guard Cole Strange and then move Isaiah Wynn from right tackle to that left guard spot?
Yeah, well, we play a lot of people in every part of the game. So on the offensive line, skill positions, all the defensive, we play a lot of people. So that's what we do.
Bill, you always say a player is always a work in progress, no matter what level they're at. But what has Jonathan Jones done since when you first got him to put himself in a position to be able to have a game like this?
Well, look, John's had a lot of good games for us. I mean, John's one of our best players. So, of course, he started out as an undrafted, undrafted free agent out of Auburn, came in here and lit up things on a special team with his speed, his toughness. His intelligence. He's a smart football player. Worked his way into, a big role defensively. We signed him for that role as kind of a third corner. Now, of course, the game, everybody plays with three corners most of the time. So, this year we had some depth inside, and we moved him outside, and so he plays outside and inside, like a lot of our players do. We play him in different spots, but. He really made more of a transition to playing on the perimeter this year, and he's really done a good job for us. Miles has played inside, and he's played opposite of Mills and Jack Jones, and then sometimes he moves inside, and Jack and Jalen are outside. So again, we just following up on the we rotate our people defensively, and we have a lot of good players, so they all deserve to play, and they all help us.
Hey, Bill, besides Jonathan Jones and Judon's play, Juwan Bentley had a big game as well. Could you talk about his importance on the defense?
Yeah, Juwan, he does a great job. Ben does a great job for us. His communication and ability to run the defense, control the front, make calls. We had different formations that cause us to, check things, whatever it is, check the front, check the coverage, or just check into a different defense at times. And no huddle situations, which we faced, really all year. Cleveland gave it to us, Jets last year, Indy gave it something to us today. So just that communication ability, but, nobody works harder than Ben. He stays on top of it. Everybody has a ton of respect for his preparation and his mindset. He brings it every day, really every play. You see that from him out on the practice field, and, it's kind of contagious. It's a good thing that other people, build on our defensive line communication on pass rush and our secondary. Of course, Devin, John do a great job of that, but really it's everybody doing that, having that communication. So, yeah, Ben's a good football player, and he's just, whatever we ask him to do, he's done really well this year. He's played more on the end of the line than he has in the past, and he's played well there, rush the passer, good zone player, good tackler, smart football player, tough kid. Glad we have him. Glad we re-signed him. He's a good player.
Phil Perry in the front.
Bill, against a good Colts front there, how did you feel Mac handled pressure today?
Well, they have a good defense. The front's tough. They gave us some problems. So just, collectively as a team, we had some trouble with them for sure. Some negative runs, and there was some pressure. didn't turn the ball over. We fumbled it, but we didn't turn the ball over in a passing game, so that was good. But we had trouble with their front, no doubt about it. They have good players. Talked about those guys all week. They rotate them through. They got 7 or 8 guys they play, and they do a good job. And good linebackers too. Franklin, Leonard, Okereke. They have good depth at that position too. Kenny Moore's a good star, and it's good defense. Steph. We got a lot of good players.
Bill, Yannick had just with the start today. What have you seen from him since he came back, and what did you think of the way he played today?
Yeah, I'll look at the film and, take a closer look at it. I don't know. There's 11 guys out there. I can't watch them all. But, I think we all hung in there. But sure, things that were good. Sure, the things could have been better.
2 final questions. Mike Reese and Yofi Chen.
How did the wind affect the kicking game?
Affected a lot. It's pretty strong to their bench, so just about all the kicks went to their sideline. We had the kickoff return to their sideline, the punt return to their sideline. Hack kicked with the wind into their bench, and that's where we got the block from. So, the Colts tried to come back to the field a couple times on the kickoff returns, and just good strategy on their part. Figuring that we're going to kind of overload to the boundary side or the wind side. So, but it definitely affected it. McLaughlin had the miss before the half. Nick didn't bother Nick. He bangs him right through the middle. He's amazing. But it wasn't easy kicking out there today. Conditions were a little bit challenging. So yeah, definitely affected direction and it was hard to touch back. Jake hit the ball well, so I forget how many touchbacks we had, but we had a few, but it was hard to touch back the kickoffs today.
Last question, Yofi Chen.
Hi, Bill. You mentioned the kick returns. I want to ask you about Marcus Jones. Your thought on his performance today, and also his improvement, if any, throughout the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, Marcus' improvement really has come all year. He was a little bit limited in the spring, wasn't able to do everything in the spring, still coming off of the injury from college, actually 2 of them. And then he's just gained more and more confidence and more and more experience as we've gone through training camp and then through the regular season. His ball handling, his ball security, decision making, setting up blocks. I thought he's been doing that well in practice, been doing it well in other games, whether it's kickoff returns or punt returns. Again, the decision making, the fair catch, not fair catch, knowing how well we have the gunners blocked or don't have them blocked at times in game situations. So he's just really gotten better every week. This was this is kind of a big challenge for him this week with the left-footed punter. It's something we really haven't seen all year. So you can kind of put the jugs and put the ball in the opposite direction and all that. It's not really the same. We brought Michael in here at Pilardi, and that was actually good. I think good for Marcus to be able to handle those lefty punts, out in the kind of windy practice conditions all week. So I think that that helped him as well. Again, it's one of those little things, but Pilardi did a nice job, and I think it helped Marcus with his confidence and ball handling on the left-footed punter. So. But yeah, he's just gotten better every week, and he's a hard-working kid, and just each situation that we talk about him, all that they come up in the game, and he just continues to handle them better and better. As we've seen from other returners as they gain experience, guys like Edelman that never returned punts, different than Troy Brown and Welker, who were returners from way back when. Troy had a ton of experience returning punts, and Troy's done a great job with Marcus, I might add. Troy's really done a nice job with him in terms of catching the ball handling, making the first guy miss, setting up his blocks, ball security, decision making, reading the ball, reading the flight of the ball, the spin of the ball, and so forth. Troy's done a great job with him. He deserves a lot of credit on that too, and Marcus has worked hard to get better at it every week. Same thing with kickoffs. So. It's another one, is like how deep is it? How much hang time is it? It's a little different than punts where you got guys coming down on you. You have to make that decision on, where the ball is laterally on the field, where's the return design, how much time do you have to get there? Do you want to touch back it? Do you want to bring it out? Those are big decisions. And then, of course, is there actually execution of setting up the blocks and running. So, but all those have gotten better. Okay, thank you.
All right, there you go. A jovial Bill Belichick addressing the media there, taking questions, taking his time with some of those answers too, and I think feeling pretty good about himself and his team heading into the bye week.
He just lights up when he talks about Nick Folk.
Doesn't he?
Nick Folk. Nick. No problem for Nick though. That's our guy. But he's right. Great game from Nick Folk. I don't know where we'd be without him.
Folk, everybody. Indeed. All right, well, we're going to take another quick break here. When we come back, we'll hear from Mac Jones. But first, hey, Pats fans, I'm here to tell you about NFL All Day. With NFL All Day, all your favorite Patriots highlights become digital video collectibles called Moments. Not only can you buy and sell them on a secure marketplace full of thousands of NFL fans, you can also use them to compete in epic game day challenges. Check it out and find some moments from all your favorite Patriots players on NFLAllDay.com. Quick break. We'll come back and hear from the quarterback, Mac Jones, right after this.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
I did the Mac Jones voice. Yep. We're going!
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Christian Arcand.
All right, it's Arcand back here. It's Patriots Postgame presented by Cyber Reason, the official defenders of the New England Patriots. And without any further ado, let's hear from the quarterback, Mac Jones. Actually, we'll wait once. We'll have a little bit more ado, and then we'll hear from Mac Jones in just a minute. All right, I think he's ready. Here is Mac.
Raise your hand for questions. Start with Mike Reese.
So how do you sort of sum up the day for the offense today?
Yeah, I think football is a team sport, and we got the W today against a good team overall. Obviously, talked about a lot about last year and how we felt after the game, and felt like we came in and played as a team. Obviously, offensively, we want to do even better, and we will, and we got to look at the tape to kind of figure that out. But defense played great. Uche 3 sacks, Judon 3 sacks, Bentley sack, DY's half a sack. So it was just sacks everywhere. So we kind of knew that our defense was going to control the game given the circumstance with the other team, and that's a good defense that we went against. I think there's good players all around. I don't think they did anything crazy in the game that we didn't expect, but we got to hit our targets a little better here. But no turnovers from my part, which is an improvement. But we put the 2 fumbles on the ground, which we'll fix, and that's one of the things we talked about was just controlling the ball and not turning the ball over. So did a good job there, and obviously we want to score more points in the red zone. I'm not sure how we finished there, but definitely had some short fields that we want to score on, and I thought we fought hard and won the game. In NFL, it's hard to win. It takes everybody. Like I said, last year was a different story, and we won this year, so that's all that really matters.
Dan Roach in the back.
Mac, obviously, like you mentioned, you guys got the W. It's 4 of 5 now. What do you take from yourself and no turnovers today and that offense as you go into the bye week? What would you like to accomplish during the bye week as you get ready for the final 8 games of this regular season?
Yeah, I think, like I said, we just want to play our best team ball, and our defense and special teams are playing really well, and we're playing good at spots, but we need to just continue to kind of go up here and stop riding the wave, which we will. I think we have really talented players at every position. Even today, the guys that stepped up with, I guess, 4 or so starters out of the game. It's pretty impressive to go in there and not have a lot of drop off and beat a really good, team. So we'll look at everything. I know our coaches, they've been grinding it out and doing a great job, just putting us in a position to succeed. And we just got to, go out there and execute a little better. And the bye week or whatever you want to call it is always a good time to physically, get yourself back, and then obviously mentally, and then X's and O's wise, just see what you're doing really well and see what you're not doing as well. And I know our coaches will do a great job grinding it out, and we'll be on the same page.
Over here, Mac. Sorry, all the way to the right. All the way to the right.
Oh, yeah.
All the way to the right. What's up? What's up? Obviously, you want more touchdowns, but you talked this week about not going broke by making sure you're taking the profits. How do you feel you and the offense did that today on the whole, especially against a challenging defense like the Colts?
Yeah, I think we definitely want to move the ball. And, when we get the ball as an offense, we want to score on every possession, and we want to score touchdowns. And sometimes when we don't do that, we get a little frustrated, myself included. But at the end of the day, it's about controlling the ball. When we don't turn the ball over, our statistics are really good to win the game. Sometimes that's hard to realize. But we talk about that internally all the time. And when we do that, we usually win. So definitely some things I'm sure I'll see on film that you want to have back. But at the same time, you got to move the ball, and we got to eliminate some of those negative plays. And we're just in long yard situations just way too often. And it's the NFL. Like, these guys are pretty good. So if you put yourself behind the sticks, your percentages plummet. It is what it is. But you got to fight through it and figure out a way to be better on first and second down, and then that helps you on third down. So.
Just two things off of that. You mentioned, and what guys are talking about as well, the negative yardage where the penalties are, and also the consistency factor. How do you get better in those two areas specifically?
Yeah, I think it starts in practice. And I feel like we have a really good group of guys, and we need to make this our thing. It's all right, we need to take it personal for the offense that we're getting too many penalties, or, I'm missing a guy here or there, or whatever it is. Like, we need to just nail that down and find out the issues and just create, there's problems, obviously, clearly, and we just want to fix anything with a solution. And I feel like we've done a good job of that, but we really need to pick that up to beat, some really good teams here coming up. So we know what it takes. We have good players. We got good coaches. So it's a group effort, everyone being on the same page and coming together. And, every day at practice, that's all you can control, right? You have to line up, do your job, whether that's block somebody, whether I have to hand it off, throw it, whatever, change the play. So it's all an individual effort, but at the same time, when you get 11 people on the same page, all that stuff will look a lot better.
Mac, you're now 9 games into playing with a new coaching configuration on offense. How would you describe where you, Bill, Matt, and Joe are in terms of just being in rhythm and accomplishing what you want to accomplish?
Yeah, I think we were focused on today, and today we kind of hit some of our targets, but wanted to hit even more of our targets. So they've done a great job preparing us for the games. Coach Belichick, just in our meetings and stuff, or anything that he sees, he's always providing that information for us as quarterbacks. From a defensive perspective, which is great, and that's continued, and that's helped me a lot. And with Coach Patricia, obviously we've grown together, and he's done a great job. He's a great leader of men. He loves football just like all of our coaches, and he's going to give it his all every day from 6 a.m. until whatever it is, 2 in the morning. So I know that they're all going to give their all, and Coach Judge, same thing. He's here early, trying to find ways to help me and trying to help me play as best I can, and we're still growing together. It's not going to be a perfect picture every play, but as long as I'm doing my part and the guys around me are trying to do their part, we'll be in a good spot.
Mac, admittedly, it's easy for us to say, oh, there's a guy on the other side of the field that might have been open or something like that on plays. But when you come to the sideline and you see it on the stills or see it on the film, what as the quarterback can you do to make sure that maybe, you open in a different direction or something like that on given plays?
Yeah, I'll have to look at it. I look at the stills and stuff, but I don't look too much into it. It's false reality. So just trying to see what the defense did, that's all you can really control. And, I'm sure there's some plays, but it's all about where your eyes start, right, as a quarterback, what you're being told and where you're looking. Sometimes you miss things that people, you don't know if you missed it or not on the field, right? You walk off and you're like, darn, I looked at the picture, looked like it was there, but my eyes were starting where they were supposed to start. So sometimes that's how it is. And a lot of those sacks, too, it's just on me. Just get the ball out to the open guy. Doesn't have to be an explosive play every time. And like I said, I thought the guys stepped up with a lot of our, some of our starters out. So that was really good. But got to watch the film and see how it really was. But it's all about timing and your footwork. Does it match up with the play? Does your drop match up to the route, to where your eyes are? And like I said, there's good players on the other side of the ball. So there's a clock going on in your head. You got to be ready for it. You can't just sit there and hold the ball all day.
Yofi Chen, right in the middle.
Hey, Mike, kind of just follow up what you just said. In the fourth quarter, there was a scramble play. Looks like you had the touchdown right there. That you have one defender to beat, but it didn't happen. Can you take us back to that play and explain your thought process there?
Trying to think here. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to watch the film, but there was someone in front of me. Otherwise, I would have gone in the end zone. So it's pretty simple.
Mac, over the past few weeks, we've seen the emergence of Ramondre, and on the touchdown pass to him, it was a hell of a catch. What was going through your mind to see him as a running back haul it in like that? And what has he meant for the offense over the last few weeks for you?
Yeah, Mondre's done a great job. Like I said, Damian not being out there, he's definitely carried the load there, and JJ stepping in there, making some plays too. Just proud of those guys. We have a great group of running backs. Vinny's done a really good job with those guys, and they actually put 2 guys on him a few times, so he still got open with 2 guys on him, which is pretty cool. So he's done a good job. He's a competitor, quiet but super competitive. He might not say it, but he is, and he's done a great job, and he'll continue to do that.
Mac, Jonathan Jones had quite a day today, but you go against him in practice every day. What have you learned about him as a football player?
Yeah, I think he's done a really good job this year playing different spots. I noticed like early on, obviously he's historically been inside, but he's done a little bit of everything, and he's really fast, just quiet technician. I think he's done a great job for us. He's a great leader on this team too. Whether that's just when we're talking to him one-on-one or he's talking to the defense, you can tell they all respect him, and he has a very big voice in that room. So really happy to see him haul that one in, and he's obviously fast, so he's going to get to the end zone.
Hey, Mac, as you head into the bye here now, you mentioned the early down inefficiencies is something you want to fix. Is there anything that has your focus maybe individually into the bye week in addition to obviously kind of getting away for a little bit?
Yeah, I think, like I said, the coaches will evaluate all that, and they always do a great job of seeing what we do well and sticking with it, and then things we don't do well, how can we do better? So first and second down is a big part of the NFL. I think really good teams are good on first and second down, and then third down, it's just like, all right, they're in a better spot here, and they convert more. So you want to be above whatever percentage mark, we kind of set, and we got to be better and extend drives that way. But every drive can't seem like it's so hard to get yards, We got to be able to skip some third downs and move the ball and get explosive plays. But once again, defenses are kind of trying to take that away, playing a lot of too high coverage and trying to stop that. So it's a respect towards our skill players and the guys we have.
Just want to get your thoughts on Nick Folk. I know you said you want to, put him in the end zone and you guys get down close, but
yeah.
Is it nice to know and feel like, once we're here, we can at least get 3 because he's been so consistent over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, and he's the man. I'm not going to jinx it or anything, but almost every time he goes up there, it seems like he has the confidence to put it through. And he's a great person, just works really hard, and has obviously played a lot of football and made a lot of kicks, and I'm sure he would tell you he's missed some kicks too. So I'm sure his journey, it's been up and down, obviously, but he's a great kicker, and you can tell that he's just been can't miss. I don't know how to describe it. He's just great. So we're just happy to have him. Cool. Thanks.
All right, that was Mac Jones at the podium. Only brief takeaways that I have was the stuff about the coaches. I heard him talking about that, and I swear it took me right back to the preseason. I feel like the offense has been about as stagnant as his answers involving the coaching staff. It's always sort of the same thing. And, I understand this is who he has, and, we're 8 games into the season now, so it's not like it's going to change abruptly, I don't think anyway. But, man, the poor kid, he's got to really dig deep, to find these compliments for these guys.
I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing. I mean, it feels like the same press conference over and over again.
It does.
I mean, the mistakes thing, it's correct to point those things out, and I don't think that that's without value because, until this point he hadn't done that. So maybe it's a baby step. 2 weeks off now, though. I'm not sure where they go to. I think it starts with David Andrews, and maybe that gets Cole Strange back, and maybe they're going to find something with Yodny Kajust. I hesitate to say that after this game, but it has to start there, and then maybe they'll find something. But these games at the end of the season are true tests. They're not going to get any layups, and they're going to find out exactly what kind of team they are over the next.
And I just wonder if they feel like they need to stick with Wynn at guard. I don't think he was great at guard today. I think he let up some pressures. He had another holding call, and I don't think that was great inside there either. But he played the balance of the game. Like Strange got yanked early.
Yeah.
So they're obviously not happy with his performance, Cole Strange's performance. I don't know exactly where they turn. I know that Andrews at center will make things look better because I think he's that good on the inside
It's
in
the
terms
center's
of
job, right?
Well, in terms of his preparation,
TJ
too.
will tell you that too, right? The
Right.
value of the center,
right?
Sure.
You can't overstate. I mean, it's huge.
Mac Jones, by the way, brought to you by Dapper Labs. Patriots fans here to tell you about NFL All Day. With NFL All Day, all your favorite Patriots highlights become digital video collectibles called Moments. And not only can you buy and sell them on a secure marketplace full of thousands of NFL fans, you can also use them to compete in epic game day challenges. Check it out and find some moments from all your favorite Patriots players on NFLAllDay.com. Closing thoughts, gentlemen.
Glad to get to the bye. Disappointed on the progress that the offense has not made. Defense, continues to play well. I think I was a little silly to worry more about the D than the offense this preseason, like we talked about. Hopefully they can find something because, like I said, this is when the real tests start happening. You're going to find out exactly where you belong in the AFC and specifically in the AFC East here over the last 2 months.
Yeah, we'll have 2 weeks to self-scout, and they'll get to work. And I'm curious the way we open the show. Like, what will it look like offensively against the Jets? In close proximity, these two games, will it look any better? Will it look any different?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a nice barometer coming right out of the bye.
Yep.
Yeah. Individuals on defense making plays. That gives you hope against when they do play against, offenses that have good quarterbacks and can move the ball. Individuals are making plays, and we were wondering before the season, where are those defensive plays going to come from? We're seeing it.
Yeah.
On offense, though, we got to figure this line out because without that, Mac he's not going to have the confidence to do anything.
Yeah, agreed with that 100%. And I think the offense, even if they do win some games, is going to just keep sort of walking in place here. The Patriots, though, despite our tone and tenor, do come away with a big win, 26-3, as they improve to 5-4, 2-2 at Gillette Stadium. They got the bye week coming up, and after that, they will be taking on the Jets. That's also a game that will be played right here in Foxborough on November 20th at 1 o'clock. That's the next time you'll hear from any of us for pre- and post-game. I want to say thanks to Josh Uche for joining us, for Mike Dussault, for Paul Perillo, Fred Kirsch, and Tamara Brown, and of course our great producer Matt Morrell and Matt LePan back there behind the glass. I'm Christian Arcand. Once again, Patriots with a 26-3 win over the Colts. That's all for us. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Goodbye.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more podcasts.